Hi there. We'll get started in just a minute. Thanks for joining today. Gonna just make sure all our technology is working here. A couple of housekeeping items. On the right-hand side of the screen, there's a chat box. You can use this to comment or ask any questions. If you wouldn't mind just letting me know that you can hear me, that'd be great. Fantastic. And hoping you can see the dark blue screen with the NetGiver logo. I see a couple of you can. Hope that's everyone. Thank you. All right, I think it's time to get started.
It's that time on the dot. Hi, everyone. My name is Eric Berg, and I'm here with Miriam Ackerman.
Hey, guys.
We're with Don't Blink Venture Studio. We are the co-founders of NetGiver.
With Spire Credit Union here in Minnesota.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us, everyone, today.
Today we're going to talk about solving two problems with one application. The first problem being that credit unions are looking to grow, and to do this they want to increase memberships, deposits, and revenue. Credit union member assets currently make up less than 10% of the banking industry. Banks really own the market. The credit unions are looking for better ways of telling prospective members what makes them different from a bank. The goal of this is obvious. We want to turn bank customers into credit union customers.
Yeah, and the second problem is that today over 80% of transactions are done using a credit card. And that includes charitable giving, right? Mm-hmm. And with that charitable giving comes a fee that comes along with the credit cards, as well as the platform that is used to take the credit cards. The giving industry is a $435 billion a year industry in the United States, and of that, $287 billion is given by individuals. And if those platform fees and those credit card fees are part of that, then up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% sometimes is used or is taken from those donations instead of going to the charity that they chose. So we recently heard about an organization, Miriam, whose platform fees were as high as 20%.
I know, right?
Yeah, so it's not just the credit card fee of the 3% or whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. It's also the platform on top of that. And sometimes those platforms take more than you'd expect.
It's a significant amount. Absolutely. So NetGiver is a product and a service that credit unions can provide to their members. It's a mobile app that ensures that 100% of donations go directly to the nonprofit, and it's exclusively for credit union members provided by their credit union. The service is marketed to members and potential members to showcase in a very tangible way the difference between what a credit union can offer and what other financial institutions offer.
We're really excited about this product, and we're really excited about what it does. You know what? Let's show the video, and when we show the video, we can you'll see what we're talking about.
I love this.
Hi, I'm Taylor. Today we're going to play with some puppies and learn how NetGiver is helping a local charity provide more services for puppy adoption. Let's go play.
Hi, I'm Camille. I work with Midwest Animal Rescue and Services, aka MARS. We are an animal rescue that also offers community services. We believe that there are two ends to the leash, so in order to take care of the pet, you have to take care of the parent as well. We started in 2006 and have saved over 18,000 animals since then, with a 99% adoption success rate. So once they go home, they stay home.
So I know your organization primarily gets a lot of their money through donations. Yep. So I'm wondering, what difference would that 7% make?
7% would make a huge difference. If we raise $100,000, that's $7,000 extra that we can use towards our mission in saving homeless animals. That's $7,000. If you divide that by $20, the price of a microchip, that's 350 animals that would always have a road back home and would never be homeless again. So that makes a huge difference. That $7,000, if you divide that by 75, about the average cost for us to spay or neuter a pet, that is almost 100 animals that would be spayed or neutered.
I'm using NetGiver to make my donation now. Just a quick search to find Midwest Animal Rescue. There it is. Tap on their name and their listing comes up. Make sure it's the right one. It is. And now I can enter my donation. How about 50 bucks? And hit give, and then confirm my donation. Wonderful.
Donating using NetGiver makes a significant difference to our nonprofit.
I could play with puppies all day.
I could play with puppies all day too.
Yeah, I know. They're pretty cute, aren't they?
So whether your credit union is looking to grow or differentiate itself or provide members with better products and services, NetGiver helps you to stay competitive in the financial landscape.
Yeah, and when your members and non-members give to charity, their full donation isn't reaching its intended purpose. And we can solve the first problem of adding new members to credit unions by solving the second problem of eliminating those fees and turn showcasing what makes a credit union different into the message.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Eric, you serve on the board of a nonprofit, and you were telling me recently about the board meeting you just had.
Yeah, and I've heard this from other people too. We were sitting in the board meeting and we were going through the financials for the previous year and our budget for the previous year and what we have coming up for the next year. And we were looking at the cost. There's a line item that kept popping up in our financials from previous years into last year, and it was credit card processing fees. And a couple years ago, that amount was $1,600, and this year it was over $2,800. And we're just a small organization. We raise about $50,000 from different types of fees and events and those kinds of things. And so this was a significant amount of money that has just increased because people aren't using checks anymore. They're using credit cards to give.
And you were telling me about what that impact the $2,800 could do.
Yeah, it's really amazing. $2,800 is a huge impact for our organization because we use park and rec programs, and each program costs our organization about $700. So that's 4 programs with a dozen or so kids each. So it's 50 kids probably that are impacted by that $2,800 difference. So 50 kids that get to be part of a program versus 50 kids that wouldn't get to be a part of a program if we can save that $2,800.
That is a significant difference.
Yeah.
And that's a huge marketing opportunity for credit unions. By solving this problem for members, they can drive new member growth. And, well, let's look and see how that works.
Yeah. We surveyed donors of nonprofits asking them about their giving. And here's what we found out, right? So 78% would consider using an app if it meant that 0 fees were taken from their donation, which we thought was a pretty good stat, right?
Yeah. 74%, though, were aware of the fees associated with credit cards and platforms that impact their donation. Only 74%.
Right, because that means that 25%, 26% aren't aware that those credit card fees and platform fees are coming out of their donation.
But here's what was really interesting.
Yeah, so over 23% of non-credit union members said they would consider opening a credit union account to use NetGiver to make donations to their nonprofit organizations.
23% of non-members.
Great number, great statistics there.
That's exciting to see.
Yep.
So research shows that every decision a consumer makes is an emotional decision. So really briefly, the researchers have shown that the limbic system in the brain lights up on MRI scans when somebody spends money. Those highs are dopamine in the brain sending a feel-good signal. So that's why sometimes you'll make a purchase, go out and a little shopping spree to make yourself feel better. That's dopamine.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, and here's something else that's even a little bit cooler in that. So research also has shown that when a person donates to charity, in those same MRI scans, their brain lights up even hotter, brighter, higher than it does for the other feel-good moments in life.
Mm-hmm. So what's this prove? That when a member uses NetGiver, they associate that feel-good with the credit union providing the experience.
Yeah, and by supporting the members' most emotional giving decisions, credit unions then attract and retain those loyal members. And that's the purpose of what we're trying to do here with NetGiver.
That's all really great. So let's take a look at a real-world example. Think back to the last time you ordered something online. Remember the confirmation email when it was delivered? And remember that little bit of excitement you felt when the email came through?
Yeah, I like those. I like those emails when you get something from Amazon or from DSW, right? That's dopamine in the brain acting upon your expectations and your fulfilled promise of ordering that and then having it delivered. And it's interesting, right? Because that shot of dopamine is what gives us those connections and those feelings to things that are important to us in life. And 71% of Americans view their financial institution relationship as strictly transactional.
Because think about it now. The last time you got your bank statement?
Yeah, no dopamine there.
Nope.
Yep. So let's put some of that excitement and dopamine into our members' lives, and let's look at how the whole program works.
We really see this as a win-win-win. So from the credit union perspective, the credit union wins by differentiating themselves from big banks, showing that they're really community-focused and they care about their members. And they not only tell them, but really show them that they're cared about and that the community is cared for. So they market to existing and potential members, which increases membership, deposit accounts, assets.
Yeah, and then from a member's perspective, they have causes that they care about and that they already support. And what they realize when using NetGiver is that their credit union is supporting what they do, the member, and supporting what the member cares about. Members download and donate. Other donors see the credit union difference and are compelled maybe to join a credit union because of that.
And then very obviously the nonprofits benefit. The nonprofits need all the help they can get, and I'm sure your phone's ring every day with requests from local organizations in your community asking for sponsorships. So now they can receive full donations and grow their database of members and donors while also promoting credit unions through NetGiver Giving.
Yeah, and then the whole thing is cyclical again, going right back to supporting the credit unions. So it's a win-win-win for everybody.
It's all about members giving, and by doing so, their credit union stays top of the members' minds.
Absolutely.
So why is this an opportunity only available for credit unions?
Well, let's just recap the whole credit union purpose and why it started.
Sure. Let's start with people helping people. A little bit of history lesson here. So in the early 1900s, credit unions were founded in the United States to help offer financial institution services to those who weren't able to associate themselves with traditional financial institutions. So the immigrants, the farmers, those with lower income.
The unbanked.
The unbanked. Really helping people. So we say as credit unions that we're offering all of the same products and services as a bank. But
that's a slogan people say. We offer all the same products and services as a bank.
But that line is kind of uninspiring.
Yeah.
The credit union difference, that brand promise that credit unions make, people helping people, that's inspiring.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to provide here with NetGiver.
So how do we do this?
Yeah, so there's two parts to the NetGiver platform. The first is we solve the members' issues by giving them an app, mobile app, right? And the second part is we provide the credit unions with a turnkey marketing program that allows them to be able to support the messaging for NetGiver.
So let's dive into A first, please.
Yeah, so when a member of a credit union downloads NetGiver from the App Store, they'll log into NetGiver and they'll connect their credit union account. When they do that, the interface of the app will change to reflect the colors and logo of their credit union. what's great about that is that the user interface of NetGiver is already very, very simple to use, and the user experience is really clean. So getting in and out of the app and using that simple navigation to give a donation takes less than a minute to make that donation.
And each and every time they make a donation, that experience is associated with their credit union, supporting them in that process. And let's look at marketing, part B.
Turnkey marketing materials.
So some credit unions have your own marketing department. Some have a person who's in charge of marketing, and some don't have a marketing department at all. So we meet you where you're at, and we help you and want to support you in the following ways. If you're a credit union that has your own marketing team that wants to tell the story your way, we'll supply you with the NetGiver logos, graphics, brand standards, and you can produce your own story for NetGiver and your credit union. But if you need a little bit more support, our marketing partner has custom branded print material available for print on demand or download. Then if you want a little bit more support, they're available to work with you on specific strategies for your credit union, how you can tell the story both in social media, digital marketing, and print materials.
We're trying to make it as easy as possible for you to be able to tell your story in your community. So you've got the app and you're telling the story. Let's look at community impact.
Mm-hmm.
So right now you're probably, you've got some organizations you work with, 5, 6, 10, 12, whatever it is that you work with in your current community to support them. And as a credit union, these organizations that you've decided, the organizations you've decided to support sort of corporately, right? And they're doing great work, but you're only able to support these handful of organizations. NetGiver flips this on its head, and instead of just working with those few lucky organizations, you're able to impact the community by working with all of the organizations that your members care about and the organizations that they support, in addition to the ones that you support corporately.
Your members give to any organization that they want, and this multiplies your community impact in an unprecedented way. Everyone has a different idea of the specific causes or the specific organizations that they want to support, and not everyone has to agree with the organizations that the other ones support. So this allows you to support your members in the causes that they want to be a part of.
Exactly. Let's dive into some of the nitty-gritty here, Miriam.
My favorite thing. NetGiver is a registered CUSO, so we're here to serve credit unions and only credit unions. We've put security first.
Yeah, and your IT team will love how simple and secure the platform is. This is a little bit of foreshadowing for some things we'll talk about in a little bit. We dove deep into the NACHA handbook and guidelines. Miriam, you've actually read that handbook.
Ooh,
all the way through. So we've made it safe and secure, and using those policies and guidelines to help drive our solution.
And all the tools we use and tools and services are focused on security. So we use the Google Cloud Platform, which hosts Scotiabank, HSBC, and Charles Schwab. And by using other third-party services that all they do is focus on the security of financial data. So most of you know that Plaid is the same system that uses Venmo. If a member can send money with Venmo, they can also send money with NetGiver.
It's a plug and play solution that works with your online banking platform, and allows it to be a standalone and secure tool, but allows your members to interact and connect with NetGiver.
We use the ACH system, very much like bill pay for your members. And we just completed our SOC 2 Type 1 audit with no reportable findings.
Yeah, we're pretty proud of that. So let's take a look at some research. We found research that shows that millennials, as consumers, actively consider the values of the organizations that they choose to spend their money with. And it's significant because if you can see the screen, 70% of millennials say that those values are important when making a decision. And that's great because it means that credit unions have a leg up over banks and other organizations because of the community work that we do. for millennials.
However, it's not just limited to millennials. If you'll see, there's also been a dramatic shift across all generations. It was surprising to me because I figured people get stuck in their ways or are loyal to brands they've always used and worked with. But as a culture, we are becoming more and more aware of the companies that we spend our money, our time with, and we want them aligned with our values.
Okay, let's do a quick recap of where we are so far.
NetGiver helps members feel supported emotionally in their giving, supported by technology that's safe and easy. Members feel connected to their community and supported by their credit union, supported in their values. So let's talk about pricing. I know everyone's been wondering about this.
Yeah, so our current pricing provides two different ways of doing that. One is an onboarding, for one-time onboarding fee, and the other is a monthly subscription fee. And what we do is we break it down into tiers based on the asset size of your credit union. And the one-time onboarding can be done in as little as 6 weeks. Your IT team will love us because of the technology we've built to make this safe and secure, but also easy to plug into your current system. And the tiered pricing is based on the number of transactions and authentications that happen during a month for your members.
I want to look at that a little more closely, look at ROI, but just a reminder that as we're coming to the end of the presentation portion, we'll be taking some questions, and so feel free to send them our way through the chat window.
So let's look at the goal, the tiers of our program, and let's talk a little bit about the ROI on what it means to offer NetGiver to your membership, right?
We've looked at the cost of member acquisition, and it's somewhere between $250 to $700 per member, depending on what you do.
Just a small range. It's just somewhere in that number.
So let's talk about $300 as our number for cost of member acquisition.
And we find that that's pretty an average.
So let's look at how quickly NetGiver pays for itself.
Yeah. Let's assume you're a credit union with $500 million in assets and you're in your first year of offering NetGiver to your members. The app is available in the app stores. Your members can download it. You're working with a few of your local nonprofits and telling them about the platform. They in turn are telling other donors about NetGiver, and those donors are seeing the credit union difference in action. How you tell the story and how you work with your local nonprofits to tell the story is up to you. We're here to help with that if you want. But as a $500 million organization, when your membership has increased by 82 members in the first year, it's paid for itself. If you reach that milestone in the first 6 months, for example, then 11 new members a month to your credit union because of NetGiver, then the next 6 months then of member acquisition is paid for.
The best part is that in year 2, 3, 4, that number falls to 51 new members because of their interaction with NetGiver, because your credit union was supporting them where it mattered to them most.
Yeah, exactly. And we put this out there to give an example of how easy and sort of small hurdle it is to use NetGiver to put this together. And I'm sure many people have their own ideas internally as how they're going to work with their community organizations to do that. But when you see that impact, or that impact can be so great with so little numbers to be able to hit, it does really show a positive ROI.
NetGiver solves the two problems with one simple and secure and pretty darn cool app. The credit union should be solving these problems, and if you're interested in growing your membership, the bonus is you can do it while supporting your local community organizations. And if you're all about just supporting your local community, well, with NetGiver, you'll get the benefit of growing your membership too. We think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Based on our research, so do your members. We've got one more stat for you. 98% of current members want their credit union to offer NetGiver.
Just saying.
To close things out, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us today. And I want to let you know, of course, that there's huge benefits to being the first in line. We'd like to get you set up so you can take advantage of market exclusivity.
We're offering early adopters into NetGiver an exclusive window to be the only credit union of your size in the market with NetGiver for a limited period of time. So if you want to get a head start in your market, let's find a time to talk.
We're going to go ahead and take some questions, but just so you know, you'll be able to re-watch this webinar, and we'd be happy to set up some one-on-one time to dive more deeply into this and answer all of your questions pertaining to your credit union.
Yeah, so let's jump into a few questions, shall we, Miriam?
Let's do it. Okay, so I've got one here. I like the focus on philanthropy, but how can I sell this to my team as a valuable tool for the credit union? That's a very good question. Eric, do you want to take this one?
Sure. So NetGiver is really a marketing tool, right? It's an opportunity to be able to tell the community and your membership about the difference that a credit union makes, and the difference between a credit union and a bank, the difference between a credit union and other financial institutions, the kinds of programs that the credit union supports, and it's a tangible way of doing that. You can see the impact that it makes with the nonprofits and with the other organizations in the community when you are using NetGiver.
Thank you. Here's another good one. How do I know that the charity I support is in the app?
Why don't you take this question, Miriam?
I would be happy to. We work with a third-party provider to supply the full IRS database of 501c3 organizations. So if your charity is a 501c3 organization and has fulfilled their 990 requirement, then they are in the NetGiver platform. As simple as that. Here's a question we get quite often. So thanks for asking this one. Can I integrate this with my current online banking or mobile app?
Yeah, so we get this question quite often, and in preparation for that, we have actually prepared a slide
Ta-da!
to talk about it, to talk about why NetGiver is a standalone platform. There are three categories as to why. One is efficiency, one is impact, and the third is security. With the efficiency of the app being on its own platform, it's a lower cost for operation, it's a lower cost to update the software, and there's easier collaboration. In other words, we share all of the nonprofits on the platform, so we don't have to keep, nonprofits only have one app that they have to connect with in order to make this happen.
For NetGiver and your credit union to be the most impactful, it's on its own platform so that it's easier for charities to tell their donors. We can reach all 501c3 organizations together as a community, and it assists in brand recognition.
Yeah, and let's just talk about that impact for a second. When a nonprofit organization gets to use the words Visa and MasterCard as the fact that saying they take credit cards, why not just point to NetGiver as one location where their credit union members can go to make a donation, as opposed to having to give them more information. That impact is significant in your community, and that's another reason for that.
And once a nonprofit has signed up, regardless of how they heard about it, they've signed up because Credit Union A member told them about it. However, now Credit Union F member in another state entirely wants to donate. They're on the platform. We've got the power of the community behind us then.
Yeah, and from a security perspective, which is the third category and the third reason why we created a standalone platform, is because there's no extra doorways. There's no other ways into the platform. You can't find a way to break into or hack into anything where security would be important. We have strong fintech partners that support us in that, and there's no direct access to your members' accounts when using NetGiver. So it keeps it secure from that standpoint.
It's a great question. Thanks for asking it. Another one here we have is we work with several nonprofits in our area. How do they use NetGiver? Again, this is supposed to be just a value add for nonprofits. Nonprofits, when they create a NetGiver account, get their own dashboard so that they can track who's donating and how much those donations are. However, it's very simple for them. They don't have to ever go in and claim their donations. It goes directly from a credit union member's account and directly into the nonprofit's account. So they'll get a CSV file telling them who made the donations and for how much, so that they can send their thank yous. but it doesn't take additional administrative hours for them to work with NetGiver. That leads us into a good question here. What data do we get? Well, you as a credit union have access to aggregate data about what causes credit union members are supporting in general and how much is being given, but you also get information about, in general, your membership, what causes are important to them and how much they're donating. You'll get this information and maybe that impacts how you market to potential members or your existing members. But we hand you the data and then that's up to you to figure out how you want to use it, how you tell your NetGiver story.
So we're running up against our allotted time here that we said we would allow for this, and I think there are other questions, but we'll follow up with individual organizations with those questions. And if you have other things, by all means, feel free to reach out to us. Our email is on the screen, and you can email us there. We will also be reaching out to each of you individually to find out what other questions you have and how this might be a great fit for your credit union.
Really want to say thank you for sharing your time with us today. We get excited about talking about NetGiver and appreciate your joining us.
Yeah, so we like to say they give
and you gain.
So thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Bye-bye.